There's a turboprop that can fly nearly 2,600 miles without stopping, land on runways the size of a football field, and cost half as much to operate as a jet. And yet, most people have never heard of it. This is the Beechcraft King 360 ER, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about turboprops. Let's address the elephant in the room first, that extraordinary range. The 360 ER can fly 2,539 nautical miles, making it officially the longest-range turboprop on the planet. To put that in perspective, the standard King Air 360 maxes out at 1,086 nautical miles. That's a difference of over 700 nautical miles, or roughly 40% more distance. What does that actually mean in real-world terms? It means you can fly from Los Angeles to New York with fuel to spare, London to Moscow, no problem, Miami to Lima, Peru, done. These are routes that were simply impossible for turboprops until this aircraft came along. But here's where it gets interesting. Beechcraft didn't achieve this through magic. They achieved it through brilliant engineering. The 360 ER carries 775 gallons of fuel compared to just 539 in the standard model. They added nacelle fuel tanks and optimized the aerodynamics with winglets. And powering all of this, twin Pratt & Whitney PT6A6A engines, each producing 1,500 shaft horsepower, burning a remarkably efficient 90 to 110 gallons an hour. Think about that fuel consumption for a moment. Comparable jets burn over 200 gallons per hour. On a 6-hour flight, you're saving hundreds of gallons of fuel. That's not just good for your wallet. That's a completely different economic equation. Step into the cockpit and you'll immediately understand why pilots call this a game changer. The 360 ER features the Collins Aerospace ProLine Fusion avionics system, arguably the most advanced flight deck available in any turboprop today. You're greeted by 3 massive 14-inch touchscreen displays that operate like your smartphone. Swipe, tap, pinch to zoom. It's genuinely intuitive, but the real innovation lies beneath the surface. The synthetic vision system creates a 3-dimensional real-time terrain view, essentially letting pilots see through clouds and darkness. It's like having X-ray vision for navigation. Then there's the ISNS Thrust Sense Auto Throttle, and this is genuinely fascinating. This system automatically manages engine power through every single flight phase: takeoff, climb, cruise, descent, go around, even landing. It includes built-in protection against over-torque, over-temp, and over-speed conditions. Essentially, it's like having a third pilot in the cockpit, constantly monitoring and optimizing performance. Digital pressurization control, dual flight management systems, multi-CAN weather radar, terrain awareness, traffic collision avoidance. This cockpit doesn't just meet modern standards, it defines them. Beechcraft took everything pilots wish their aircraft could do and made it standard equipment. Now, let's talk about where you'll actually be sitting, because this is where the King Air 360 ER truly separates itself from the turboprop pack and starts competing with jets costing twice as much. The cabin stretches nearly 20 feet long, stands almost 5 feet high, and spans 4.5 feet wide. Officially, it seats up to 11 passengers, but the typical executive configuration accommodates 8 to 9 passengers in genuine comfort. And here's something special: double club seating arrangement. Passengers face each other in a lounge-like configuration that's normally exclusive to large Bombardier and Gulfstream jets. Finding this in a turboprop, that's practically unheard of. But let's discuss cabin altitude, because this matters more than most people realize. When you're cruising at 27,000 feet, the 360 maintains a cabin altitude of just 5,960 feet. That's more than 10% lower than the previous King Air 350i. Why does this matter? Because lower cabin altitude means less fatigue, fewer headaches, better sleep, and you arrive at your destination actually feeling refreshed instead of exhausted. The interior design pulls inspiration from luxury SUVs. Real wood veneer accents, premium leather seating with ergonomic design, reshaped cabinetry with clean, contemporary lines. Pinhole LED lighting runs throughout the sidewalls and overhead areas, creating ambient illumination that adjusts to any mood. Here's a detail aviation enthusiasts will appreciate. Cool view electrochromic windows. These dim electronically without any manual shades. Just touch a button and the window tints to your preferred darkness. The sense of space is remarkable. Every seat gets fold-out work tables, USB charging ports, power outlets, illuminated cup holders, and individual air and light adjusters. There's Wi-Fi connectivity available, a refreshment center with galley capabilities, and a fully enclosed private lavatory. The soundproofing deserves special mention, too. Beechcraft installed an 85-tuned absorber system with passive noise canceling, bringing cabin noise down to approximately 78 decibels. For reference, that's quieter than most highway driving. And if you want even more silence, optional BLR 5-blade whisper props can reduce noise by up to 50%. This isn't just comfortable, this is genuinely luxurious. Despite carrying all that extra fuel and luxury, the 360ER maintains impressive performance metrics. Maximum cruise speed hits 303 knots, slightly lower than the standard 360's 312 knots, but that's a tiny sacrifice for 700-plus nautical miles of additional range. Service ceiling reaches 35,000 feet, putting you above most weather and traffic. But here's what makes this aircraft truly special: short field performance. The 360ER can take off in just 4,057 feet and land in 2,980 feet. Think about what that enables. While jets are stuck using major international airports, the King Air opens up thousands of smaller regional airports, private strips, mountain airfields, remote destinations where jets simply cannot go. Let's talk numbers, because context matters. The King Air 360ER carries a base price between $7.9 and $9.76 million, depending on customization and equipment choices. That's premium positioning, certainly, but consider what you're getting. Direct operating costs run approximately $1,100 per hour based on 300 annual flight hours. That breaks down to $540 to $720 for fuel, $210 to $250 for maintenance, and $280 to $340 for engine overhaul reserves. Total annual ownership costs range from $1 million to $1.5 million, depending on usage patterns. Compare that to comparable jets burning twice the fuel, requiring longer runways, and demanding significantly higher maintenance costs. The 360ER isn't just capable, it's economically rational. If ownership isn't your path, charter services offer the aircraft at approximately $3,000 per hour. That's genuine accessibility to extraordinary capability. The Beechcraft King Air 360ER represents something rare in aviation: genuine innovation in a mature category. It took the world's best-selling business turboprop family and asked a simple question: what if we removed the limitations? The answer is an aircraft that flies farther than any turboprop ever built, operates from impossibly short runways, delivers jet-like luxury and technology, and does all of this at operating costs that make genuine economic sense. This isn't just the longest-range turboprop. It's proof that sometimes the most sophisticated solution isn't the fastest or the flashiest, it's the one that removes compromise.